she started engraving or sandblasting onto breast implants because you're not melting it. So the breast implants have to have a serial number so that they can, if something were to happen to that person, then they can identify. So then that's what she was making her money on.
And welcome to the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Hey.
I used to say welcome back, but not everyone's back. Some people are new. So I'm just saying welcome to the Riley Black Project.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever feels natural.
What's going on?
Oh, you know.
Miss Hair Down.
Typical Monday. You know, I'm
It's not typical Monday because you got your hair down.
Yeah, but I did last week.
It's only on Mondays.
Too.
It's only on Mondays.
Yeah, because it's right after I wash my hair.
Right. Yeah.
Sunday I do what's called the everything shower, and I actually, wash my hair and like try to, be more presentable because we have 3 cameras and stuff. So
the lights. Sometimes we have 3. Other times we have 1. It all depends on what camera wants to work and when.
True. Yeah.
So, this episode is sponsored by
Katie with Monarch Pine. If you're looking for jewelry blanks or
findings,
blanks or findings, she's your girl. Katie, oh my God, I butchered this one. monarchpine.etsy.com. And the code is Riley Black for 10% off. But patrons get a higher discount, so make sure to take advantage of that.
And if that sounded a little jumbly, don't worry, because Katie now has a paid ad.
She does.
In the show.
Fancy new paid ad.
Yeah. We've been doing these commercial type where we add
style.
some B-roll. Where I add some B-roll.
Hey, I have parts in this too. Creative direction. I ask for the B-roll,
Yes. Yeah. So
whatever.
if you too would like one just to run on your own personal, we can facilitate that as well.
For sure.
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
TRBP podcast.
Now you butchered.
Sorry.
Are you trying to give them our email?
The email.
TRBP_podcast at outlook.com.
Yeah. You're an Outlook person. I'm a Gmail person.
That's you
where
are.
I was like, is it out? As I was saying, I was like, Outlook or Gmail? Which one is it?
Outlook.
Yeah. Outlook. So
who we got today?
Today, I can relate with this a little bit because I didn't have to repeat kindergarten, but I did struggle in school.
Right.
Native language is German, but had to repeat because of the English German thing, which
second language. Yeah.
I completely understand the second language thing.
Yeah.
Built the business on word of mouth within the small community. That is really impressive to build like the foundations of it. And there was one more that escapes me right now, but it's okay because I have it written down. That's right. As we all did, it started off as a hobby.
Yes.
Yeah. Started off as a hobby in 2016, I think I just saw.
Yep. Yes. So what's her name and company? Oh, okay, sorry.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Patricia.
So glad to be here today.
With Tricia's Reclaimed Science.
There we go. See, it was rough for all of us. It was probably
It's a lot for us to say too, don't worry.
Right.
A lot of Tricias.
Right.
Yes.
So I met you. I recognized your name from, just being an active member and stuff in the laser community and, commenting and contributing here and there. But we met in person at APA. So last month now, about this time.
That's crazy to think.
Right. It feels like it was just last weekend, but it also feels forever ago at the same time. It was so fun. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I was sick as shit, but I still managed to push through and have a really good time and met a lot of really cool people. And you were one of those people. So how was APA for you?
Thank you for saying that you loved beating me. I wanted to say that I never even noticed that you were sick because I would have never even guessed. You were having a great time, and I loved you in your little red and black dress. It was amazing. And APA was great for us. We had learned a lot. One of my favorite classes was the Adobe Illustrator by Sonoma laser engraving with Michael.
Yes.
It was amazing. It really helped me learn quite a bit with learning how to navigate logos. And then Braden's class with GS2, that was amazing. It helped us learn some more about awards.
Nice.
But APA in general was great for us. We had a lot of fun. And we bought a new machine.
Oh. So before you tell me what it is, was that your first year at APA?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah. So what did you buy?
We bought the new roll-to-roll, or a new roll-to-roll to us. It's the UC JV 300 160.
Nice. And so what are you going to make with that?
We're going to do business signage for small businesses and other businesses that need that vinyl or perforation that goes on their windows. And then as well as promo items such as stickers, things like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Decals. Yes. I'm quite excited.
So that's, I mean, it sounds expensive. I don't know if you want to share.
My husband always makes a joke that he lost a lot of money while we were there.
I mean, he was in Vegas.
Not just Vegas in general,
so
but
if you're gonna lose a lot of money anywhere,
right?
I think it makes sense.
At least it's an investment.
Yeah.
Not in the slot machine alone.
Right. Yeah, I invested about $40, $60 in there, and it I was like, oh, let me waste some time. I wasted like 15 minutes if I'm lucky, and I was like, cool. I want my $60
Hey, at least
back.
you got a bottle of water.
Yes,
I did.
A baby bottle.
There was a little baby bottle of water. Yeah, $60 bottle of water, basically, and some button pushing, but hey, whatever. I had to try.
Exactly.
So what were you doing before Tricia's Reclaim Signs?
Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than the Crazy Laser Dad's Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high-quality blanks are expertly sourced and tested and ready to use on your laser. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for your customers.
Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their Laser Ready Blanks.
The Riley Black Project is sponsored by Monarch Pine.
Monarch Pine is your trusted source for premium laser blanks and jewelry findings. From large loop earring hooks made specifically for acrylic and wood earrings to laser-tested stainless steel necklace and bracelet blanks, they have everything you need to bring your creative ideas to life.
As a maker, you know the value of quality supplies. And that's exactly what Monarch Pine delivers. Whether you're crafting as a hobby or running a full-time business, their products make it easy to design confidently and create stunning pieces.
Head to monarchpine.etsy.com and use the coupon code RileyBlack to get 10% off your order. Riley Black patrons get an even bigger discount, so don't miss out.
And while you're at it, join the Monarch Pine Craft Supply Insiders Facebook group. It's a vibrant community where makers share tips, inspiration, and their incredible creations.
Monarch Pine, where your creativity takes center stage. Visit monarchpine.etsy.com and use code RileyBlack today.
Not tomorrow. Today.
So I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband was in the Navy, and I never really was someone that was just wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. But getting in the Navy, and it wasn't sufficient for us to be able to get a babysitter because you're working to pay the babysitter. And it is balancing, because if you're someone that doesn't want to stay at home consistently, but I became someone that liked staying at home with my kids and being there, and then being able to be flexible when my husband had time off. It was nice.
Yeah.
So I was a stay-at-home mom, and I started the business the hobby in 2016, and he was out to sea, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this silhouette cameo machine. And I kind of taught myself how to use it, because my husband and y'all might come across this too, where you kind of have like minds. So you kind of clash. Yeah. And being that way, it was like, okay, I'm going to mess something up, but I don't want to mess something up. But you go through waste material all the time to try and, perfect your items. So doing that, I did it while he was out to sea. So I didn't have such a part where I was like, oh, darn it, I messed something up. Now I'm going to what am I going to do to fix it? What am I going to do to repair? So he doesn't see it, or he's going to be like, oh, what did you do? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
So I did that for a little while. And then when we got out of the Navy and moved back to Texas, which is where we're originally from, he traveled still for a couple of years. So I kept the business somewhat going, because it was just custom orders at that time. And then in 2020 is when we picked back up of doing vendor craft shows in the area. And from there, it just kept growing to more custom orders, more shows. And when we continued to do more shows, we saw a niche of what we wanted to do more of, which was business signage, but not just to companies in general. Sorry, allergies.
I understand.
But yeah, but to small businesses as well. And small businesses need their signage. So we had signs hung up for ourselves, and people were like, hey, how did you make that? Can you make us one? We were like, yeah. And so that kind of is where it started. And we continued to make business logo signs out of wood and cutting them with a laser. We got our first machine. I wanted a laser, a glow forge, but my husband's like, no, I'll get you this. And we got a router machine. I was like, this is not what I asked for.
Right.
And so after that, it was like 6 months later, we got a laser and we got just a OMTech, but it wasn't OMTech then. So, and we got it off eBay. And like I said, I'm not a technical person with all of that stuff. I'm like, I need a button that just says go.
Right.
And my husband is very technical, very smart. And so he was able to learn how to do all of that and help me with that. So he's been the best free employee and always is willing to do something. Even like I said, we clash minds and I'm like, he hates this question. Hey, can you make this? And he's like, no, but I'll try.
Yeah.
So we eventually come to the same terms and figure things out. But after we got the OMTech, or what we called Frankenstein, because, you know, we got it and it wasn't considered an OMTech. It just was the blue body. We called it Frankenstein because we had to fix things on it and put it together. Right. And then we got an Eon Mirror 9 because I told my husband, I was like, we need a faster machine. Like, this one's not working. And as other people and makers, they come to find better machines. Right. So we were like, I want a better machine. It cuts faster. We need a bigger machine. And so we got the Eon Mirror 9. And in that same year, my husband's like, my tools are rusting and we need a bigger shop. And I was like, okay. So I was like, well, how much is it going to cost if we, you know, replace your tools if they start rusting? Because we have just a metal barn and put a floor in it, but it's not insulated. So his tools were rusting. Right. So he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, we're just going to build a shop. Our new laser is going to be coming and we're not going to have any room for it. Right. So we built a new shop. It's 900 square feet. And I'll give you a tour here soon. And then after we got the shop built, our new laser was coming. That was in September of 2023 is when the new laser was coming. March 2023 is when the shop was finished. We did all of the inside. We just had the outside built and a concrete floor. Nice. We did everything on the inside, put all the walls up, put all the electrical up, all of that. And then after the laser came, we saw another avenue of being able to print. I love painting. It is very therapeutic if you like to paint. But I got to where it was like painting a lot of stuff all the time. It was like, it could be very stressful and your anxiety can go through the roof. And so,
well, and it's time consuming. Even if you love it, it's time consuming and you can only scale it so much. You can you know, print some things before you cut them, but then sometimes there's some like touch up. And if you add any kind of like accents and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You can hear it.
Oh, nice.
And then that is so much of what came into play. And then we started to see that, you know, we could print our own items and it would go and be more efficient, more quality products.
Yeah.
Less, oh my gosh, I messed up this paint. I got to fix it. And so we started to save up for a UV printer. And then in September of 2024 is when we got our new UV printer, the flatbed. And it's the Mamaki 7151 +2. And so we got that, and that's kind of where all my UV love started to go, because that's when we were like, my husband's like, we're not getting anything in Vegas. And I said, I don't know yet. So then that's when we got the roll to roll in Vegas at APA. So that was quite exciting. And starting out as a mom, stay-at-home mom, I always wanted a business before I met my husband, but I never expected it to be this. I always like, okay, this is amazing.
Right. So, yeah. You kind of
just gotta.
What was that?
He never expected it to grow this much.
Yeah. Did you expect mine to turn into this?
It was so it started for me, it was like a way to keep you happy in Florida. That was
your selling point. That's all you're concerned about.
It's gonna cost me $4,000 for this laser, but she's gonna be in Florida. I'm be back home, and you're gonna be happy doing whatever it is with that laser machine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that I didn't even really see.
I didn't see it for sure.
A business. I figured you'd
just
make
play
stuff
with it. Yeah.
You know, just like the shirts and everything you've done before then.
Right.
It was just making things for like friends and family.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe you would get like, a friend of a friend here and there, but nothing like, where we're in the garage. There's every shade of acrylic you can imagine.
Not every shade, but almost.
Well, only because they keep coming out with new ones.
I know, damn it.
But you have the back catalog.
It's an addiction
Of every single like we should start stacking this by where it comes from. So like Houston Acrylic has this, Cerulean Tide has that, CMB's over here, and you have like their whole catalog. So if you remember a acrylic that one of these companies had that they no longer carry, contact us. I bet you it's here on the wall.
They could, but I'm not going to share it.
I'll sell
then
you
that
like
means
half
it's worth
of a sheet.
even more.
I'll sell you like half of a sheet.
It's an antique.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's a collectible.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it going to going this far.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. And I mean, more power to the people who set out to start a business, not just as a hobby, but like as a business, and then see what they want in the future. Cause I don't know. I think I see some things that I want, but it's always like more like a sketch rather than like actual like picture. You know what I mean? Okay. But just like I didn't picture any of this. So I always struggle with like certain goals and where I see ourselves and that kind of stuff because like there's things that have already happened that I could have never imagined. So it's hard to imagine, like where you want to go. And then even to a certain extent, there's the times where like you think this is what you want and then you try it or do it and you're like, just kidding. Never mind. That's not what I thought it was going to be, or you didn't find joy in it.
Or something else comes in your path and takes over. Can as well.
Yeah.
So my question is, because I'm not only the voice of the newbie, I am a newbie. I can get my head around like the flatbed UV printing because I've seen those and it makes sense. What's roll to roll?
The Riley Black Project is sponsored by Cuddle.xyz.
Cuddle lets you instantly generate personalized SVGs. Just type in the name, choose your options, and click download SVG. It's that simple.
I make tons of keychains and small items that require welding, node editing, connecting dots on the eyes, and the most tedious step, adding score lines. But with Cuddle, you just type the names and you're done.
Just go to the website, cuddle.xyz.
And use our coupon code RileyBlack for 10% off your first month or year.
Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9-to-5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on.
So the roll to roll takes a roll of vinyl or vinyl material, and it prints and pushes the material out, but it also cuts to shape. So we like the unhinged Maker Society stickers that they were given away at APA.
Right.
They are cut to shape, but you print on the material, and so it gives it an effect if you do like they did the holographic stickers. Then there's also that you can do, when you drive by buildings that have the logos or the window coverings. So you can take that and print and put somebody's logo. So you could put like the Riley Black Project on your windows of your, like if you had a storefront, you could put that up there and be like, look, the podcast is on it.
Yeah.
Nice. Or if you had like garage windows.
Exactly. And it can go on almost anything. Like we looked through the catalog and there's so many things that you could put it on depending on what type of material that you buy.
Right.
Nice.
So,
okay. So
it's pretty interesting.
Now that you say that, I do remember seeing it at APA, the roll,
yes.
the roll machine.
And who did you buy it from? Was it through PDS?
Yes.
Okay.
We bought both of our machines, our UV printers from PDS.
Nice.
Yes, they're amazing.
So what do you make the most of currently?
So far we make a lot of business keychains. We do, and we UV print them. We take their logo and put it on there. We're lining up for stickers and have some things already in place for customers to be able to get those logos and put them on stickers. Then we also have always done home decor, and that's when we were doing markets. We did a lot of markets and did home decor and signage and door rounds. We do earrings. So I have one of my earrings on. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So
it's a rabbit, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
little leopard rabbit. I love leopards. And then we can custom print so many items and personalize things for customers or businesses. And that's what I've always liked and what I've wanted to do, is because it's so much easier to do that than it is to think, okay, what am I going to make this time for a market?
Right. Yeah.
I like going to the markets for the socialization because I love socializing. One of the big reasons I love going to the conferences is I get to go out and see my peers that also do the same thing as me. So it's amazing. And then meeting amazing people like that, it's awesome. Yeah. And then doing the markets, you're out in the community and you're not just sitting at the desk or anything like that. Right. Or if you wanted to do a charity, then you're still helping the community. But we stepped away from markets because it was just too much for us to do. So that's where we started tailoring to business signage and staying to small businesses still.
So that was going to be one of my questions when you were talking about markets. How many were you doing a year at like your height?
Well, so we would only stick to 1 or 2 a month.
Wow.
And I was in a market where I was there monthly. And I was there for a couple of years. And then we would always do the Christmas markets because those are where a lot of people would do the markets. And I was doing a Christmas market. I would have about 3 or 4 in the 2 or 3, like October, November, December. I would have about 4 or 5 lined up.
Wow.
And it was very stressful. Like I would go on a 3-month hiatus after Christmas because I didn't want to step into the shop anymore for a long time. And it was very stressful because it was just like you're making yourself so exhausted and overstimulated, overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're cramming everything into just like 3 months. And then I remember, I only had like really a couple crazy Christmas seasons where I was actually selling to, people, friends and family mostly, but it was still pretty busy. And I remember waiting. There was always those last minute people. It was always hard to say no. And then you'd finally like hit your cutoff. And then I didn't do anything for my family. I didn't like make anything for my family. I didn't buy anything for my family. We if we were lucky, we decorated. And a lot of times that was only because we had to, because our kid was starting to recognize that there should be a tree and things going on. And then after taking that 2-week break, then I also it was hard. Like, you needed the break. But then after the break, it was really hard to get back in there again because, like, now, like, you've taken a step back. Like, you basically hit burnout. You took the break, and now it's hard to, like, you don't necessarily feel, like, refreshed always, you know, and, like, ready to go back. But then you're eventually like, okay, I can't just sit here forever. I have to go back. And then it kind of like, you know, you kind of have to crawl back into it in January. And then the low sales that typically come with, as Katie says, the J months. That's also like just another reason I think that would make it a little bit more difficult, good and bad. Like, okay, maybe you don't go, you know, straight back to super busy, but now you're worried about like how long is this like slowness gonna last or whatever. Man, so that many markets, that just like 2 a month is overwhelming just hearing about it for me.
When you have kids too, it takes away all your family time because you have to, it's a domino effect. You have to make constantly for one market, and then if you don't sell that, it has to go to the next market. And it's just a lot. And then if you already sold all those products and you know they're good sellers, then you have to make those again. So then it takes away your family time, it takes away your personal time, and that's a lot of stress in itself.
Yeah. So what's a tip, I guess, or maybe like what advice would you give to people who are interested in like local markets, and like where did you find success? Like how did you do the best at like managing your time and that kind of stuff, doing so many?
So I get told all the time I don't get to manage my time very well.
Yeah, same.
I am not a time management great person, and so I'm learning that. But I will say, my husband and I've always wanted time with our kids, to make sure that we're spending time with our kids, so that they, being that you don't work a 9 to 5, or at least I don't. My husband does, and I don't. And so I'm like, I want to make sure that we spend plenty of time with our kids, that they get that family time, they get that love that they always want, and that playtime and things. So we always make sure to set aside time. But it's not just setting aside that time, but it's also taking a day or two to make sure that they know that, hey, look, why don't we go do things that you want to do instead of always doing something for mommy and daddy? And so they understand that. And when we would go to markets, we would take them with us so that they knew, look, this is what we're doing. Y'all don't have to stay here in the booth. And we were at markets where there were parents that had like-minded kids, or kids that were close to the same age. And being that, we were like, okay, you can run around with them, but I want you to come back and check up. And so that was some family time, going to markets together. But you all know that that's not exactly family time. So it was like family time after the market. And then we would always make time during the week. So we have a family meal all the time. We have always encouraged our kids to cook. And so we cook with them, and we make cookies or make supper with them. So those are small family times that they get to enjoy and remember growing up. So, and then for the time management, a part of like doing the markets, just knowing that if you schedule it, try to make sure you have plenty of time to make things, because we've pushed ourselves to the limit, down to the line where we're like, oh man. And that's where some of the overexhaustion and the overwhelming parts come in, and it's burnout. So yes.
How did you choose shows?
We chose shows. So there was one that we chose regularly because it was close to us. It was like a 10-minute drive. And then I was also on their board. So I was on I was like the treasurer on the board. And I was able to get to the markets early. I helped with the board itself and advertise the markets locally. And then people would ask, hey, how do we join this market? So that was one of the markets we went to regularly. They started to grow their markets for that association. So we went to another market that they had also locally. It was a little bit further drive, but we did go to it. And then there was a couple other local markets that we would go to, just not as regular, because it just didn't line up with our time. Or like I said, the domino effect of you have to make sure that you're continuously making things, that if you can't get it done in time or you don't have enough product, you can't make the show. Like, you're going to go in there with an empty table. That doesn't look good either.
Right.
So.
And you were also still making custom items, right? Along with your market material, market
and
items.
That's where it came in very hard at Christmas time, is doing the markets plus doing custom items. Right. I don't know how many times we've told customers, hey, this is an extra rush fee. And they didn't say no. And we were like, crap.
Right.
Sometimes you have those rush fees just so that they can say, "Oh, okay, I understand."
Or it's the go away price, and they take the go away price, and you're like, "Shit!"
Like, okay, great, but dang.
We're like, damn, come on, give us a break. But yes, and some markets we attended because some people had give us flyers, or they had called us and they were like, "Hey, we've heard about your company. We would like for you to attend to our markets." And if it lined up with our schedules, then we would go.
Yeah. So are you done with markets altogether now?
Yes, because it just, we want to continue doing markets for our kids, because they have now started, they were like, well, how do we sell our 3D print items? Because they do 3D print items. And they started that this last year because we got the UV printer and we needed jigs to be able to hold items steady.
Right.
And so they were like, well, can we make some things? We were like, sure, why not? So we tell them, okay, look, you have to pay taxes. And we told our daughter about this, and she's 8, she'll be 9 in March.
Wow.
And we told her Uncle Sam gets a portion of your money. And she was like, I don't know this Uncle Sam. I'm not paying him my money. I need to have a talk with him. Like I said, she's on the feral side sometimes.
Right.
So
we all feel the same, girl.
I know, right? So we told them that they have to split their money 4 ways. So each of them get their portion, and then Uncle Sam and supplies to be able to replenish their items.
Yeah.
So they understand and they are excited. So we will continue to do some markets. It's just not going to be possibly at Christmas time, maybe. Or if we do them, we won't take our items. We just make sure to take their items.
Yeah, just a select few. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Do they make those little fidget thingies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They did fidgets, like fidget wheels. They did some ornaments. Our son, he loves Pokemon. And so he did a lot of Pikachu. Our daughter loves all the little animals and some of the dragons. And so they did the dragons with the eggs. Nice. They did some fidget cubes. So it was like a Minecraft cube was one of them. And it was in that color, and it just like turned into a box, and then it opened up, and then you could change the shape.
Nice.
That's cool.
So yes, they were excited.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like JR would do good with some of that, but he gets very obsessive early on.
Very antsy. And,
he wants like, if he found something he liked to make, he'd want to make it like all the time. Like, so I bought him a new hoodie and a new jacket, and he asks every day, when is it coming? Yeah. And then when I tell him, oh, it's going to be delivered today or Monday or whatever, he then, what time? And it's like, no matter what it is, like, and now he's in running training, running camp, whatever. So he goes to running 2 days a week, and, oh, like, are we going to running today? What's the weather look like? Like, but he wants to like do chores for money now, and he's motivated by money already at 7. Yeah. So I feel like if he could totally, but he wouldn't like the other stuff.
I can see him like that one reel that you shared with me the other day, where the mom walks into her son's room because she hears.
Oh yeah, and he was printing,
and he was 3D printing something while he was at school. He was making he was batching toys to sell
the
at
little
school.
Octopuses.
Yeah, and he had purchased. He saved his money to purchase a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And he had it in his room, and he was selling things to his classmates at school. So while he was at school, the machine was printing out a batch of
That's
whatever.
Almost what we would have to do.
Yeah.
Because he's not using my 3D printer. Just kidding. I'll share a little bit.
Yours, I've used it more than you have.
Hey, I've used it a lot lately.
Yeah,
We've both been using it pretty. We got it in December, and then we printed like 2 things, and then we're like, cool. And then December got busy.
Well, because December
and
got
January
busy.
was insane. And then finally, towards the end of February, he was like, oh, I'm going to print this. And then I was like, oh, I should print this. And now anytime I need anything, I'm like, oh, I need a business card holder. Okay, let me go search through the files. And then I was like, oh, I need a phone holder. He did like the little light has a big power supply. Yeah. And so he got like a little holder for the power supply. And like, we're like, oh.
There's so many things that I never even thought of to print with the 3D printer. And my husband showed it to me and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. And there's just literally so many things. And there's like times where like I've almost bought something like, I think I was looking for little containers because I want to do a keychain bar at Next Level where people can make like their own keychain. And I was like, oh, I should look for like some containers or whatever. And I was like, no. I can print some. And I had to print like 4. I printed like 4 different styles or sizes before I found like the right size, like Goldilocks. But and he took the rest to hold random things.
Stuff on my desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any other machines that you see in your future? I mean, so it's funny that you like with all the machines that you purchased because one of our listeners and one of my best friends, Brianne Dutra, she actually suggested that I should have you on because she's like, man, she seems to be killing it. She's buying all these fun new machines all the time. I want to hear about, her story. So like, is there any other machines that you see, or are you good for now?
Good for now, but I would love to buy a sandblasting machine, but my husband's like, we're not buying that right now. We need to work on these, and these only for now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like all of us are that way. Like, even if we just bought a machine, we're like, oh, okay, this is cool, but there's still like always a long list.
I also don't, I hate that I don't remember their name because they were like, they were across from us at APA, right next to PDS, the sandblasting machine.
Oh yeah,
and
the Iconic.
Yes.
Was it Iconic?
Yes.
Yeah. So shouts out to them because their booth space, they really used it well, and they were doing like a make and take where you can like make that, but with the sandblaster. That was cool.
It was cool.
And I mean, I just like walked by it a few times, and I'm like, man, I don't know what I would use. I'd break a lot of stuff, but I think I want one of those.
That's actually one thing I don't want.
A sandblaster?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because it's the same reason I don't really want a UV laser, because I don't like glass.
Oh, okay.
Glass makes me nervous. I'm always scared I'm going to drop it and break it. And I don't like shipping it. Like, I don't like the breakability of glass. So like, I don't have any desire for anything glass. Engraving it, shipping it, none of it.
I think I like it. So I like it a lot because I watch a lot of restoration videos. And they always use the sandblaster to like to take off paint or sometimes even like minor rust or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like it, and that's what I would use it. But I don't know. I don't have anything to restore because I throw away all the old stuff.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and we're also hoarders, and we hold on to everything too.
No, I throw away old stuff. You're
not all old stuff.
If it has a use.
Everything has a use.
Not everything.
What were you gonna say?
I will say that so we learned that somebody that had bought a sandblaster, I don't remember who the company is or the lady, but one of the guys from Iconics told us that she started engraving or sandblasting onto breast implants because you're not melting it. So the breast implants have to have a serial number so that they can, if something were to happen to that person, then they can identify. So then that's what she was making her money on. So you don't have to do
so crazy.
Glass. I know, right? I thought the same thing. I was like, that is pretty awesome.
And that's so that's one thing with the laser industry.
Like a messy testing period.
But like with the laser industry or just like the creative industry in general, like you can have such a like random niche, like where you sandblast the serial numbers on breast implants and like that's your business because there's probably only so many people who do that. And that's like the possibilities are like endless, literally.
Yeah. And see, those aren't going to break. I mean, that's what I said. You can do sandblasting. It's just you don't have to do it on glass.
That's true. Just boobs.
So it's an option. It's another option to buy another machine.
Right. We need a warehouse
boobs
before
and
that.
Cheeks.
Boobs and cheeks.
Right. Aren't the cheeks silicone too?
I don't think they're like filled
silicone.
Oh, okay. I don't know what they are actually.
I don't know what they are.
I don't need one. I have plenty back there, so I've never considered or looked into. See, we easily go really left here, but you know.
Hey,
but it's still on topic. We're talking about sandblasting.
So I guess this is a good time to ask the question I try to ask every episode. So what has been, with all of the tools and machines you got, what has been a tool, mindset, or skill that you've obtained throughout the journey of your business that has been one of the most beneficial? It doesn't have to be the most.
Wheels on everything.
Smart.
Yes. So we have wheels on our tables. We have wheels on our carts that we have. Our fiber laser is on a cart and it's on wheels. The only thing that's essentially not on wheels is my husband's work table that's on the other side. And it just hasn't gotten wheels put on it yet. We're still getting that done.
It's going to have wheels.
Yes, it's going to have wheels on it because then it's easily maneuverable to be able to, like, if you had to get another machine put in, you can just wheel it right out the door.
Right.
So
shift stuff around. Yeah.
That is one of the things that's helped us out a lot to change the shop around and move furniture or be like, okay, something else is coming in. We need to move this out. Yeah. Because this stuff is not light, as you all know. Right. It is very heavy. Our laser, when we had it brought in, our Eon Mirror 9, I found neighbors to come help us. And I cooked chocolate chip cookies to thank them.
That's nice.
A good thank you.
I was like, can you please help me? And
we'll take some chocolate chip cookies as we don't need a thank you. But you know, if you want to, like, if you're just passing out cookies as thank yous, you know.
I'll try to remember next time we come to a conference and y'all are going, I'll be sure to bring some.
Okay.
I can't guarantee they're going to be completely fresh or baked the same day, though.
Okay. Yeah.
Cookies at next level.
Right. Do you have the code? I feel like this is a good time to start wrapping up the free portion, but we got to give them the code. So tell us kind of what you told us in the email. Your site is going through like a little revamp and stuff, right?
It's going a little bit of a revamp because we're moving from Square because we were always in person and doing markets and things like that. So we were always selling in person. And so we want to tackle e-commerce this year and be able to revamp our site. And so we're doing Shopify. And it is a whole different game.
It is. I love Shopify, though. So
yes, we've loved it so far. It's just like learning all the logistics of how to make the site work and where to put things and all the apps to integrate everything. It's quite a different game. And so that's the reason it's kind of revamping. We do have products on site. And it is a 10% discount, and it should be the RB Podcast 10.
Yep, RB, capital RB, if caps matter, capital RB Podcast 10.
Nice. Yeah. So, and then that's good until April.
18th.
Perfect.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
So everyone can check that out if they need some things. But yeah, I mean, I love that. Like, you guys are shifting from, like, the market, local, to then e-commerce. Because, like, right now, it's really important. Because, things are just weird as far as where people are purchasing. And you can still keep that local that local community, but having a website and expanding, so say like the local community all of a sudden is having a hard time, or, there's a lot going on, or maybe like people aren't spending as much. You can find your people anywhere if you have a good website and e-commerce going. So it just opens up hopefully the options for you.
Yes, it's another avenue of selling things without having to be in person, but still getting your name out there. And even local people will buy from your website.
Right.
And I mean, local could mean all of Texas, but you're not always going to be able to just drive it over there to their house. But that way, if you have a site and it's e-commerce or it's able to ship, then it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, growth is just that much easier as well. And for me, I do everything through Shopify, and it helps me keep everything like together and in place. And I don't know how the heck I did like personal orders and stuff before. It was all pen and paper. Oh my God. Some spreadsheets sometimes. And it was just a hot mess. Like every time I'm like, I tell people like, I'm going to send you this invoice through Shopify. And they're like, oh, I can Venmo you and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm still going to send you this invoice. And actually, sometimes, because with Shopify, I can say that like I can mark it as paid and it'll still be like an open order. But if I don't have that open order in my Shopify saying you need to do this, it'll never get done. So like you can pay me through Venmo, but I'm still going to send you this invoice. Look it over. Let me know if it's good to go. And then I'll mark it as paid. But because even friends and family, you have to like do yourself a favor and keep it all in one place. Because otherwise something's going to fall through the cracks.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be that.
It does happen. It's a matter of if you can catch it and make it right and things like that. So that helps a lot, keeping everything in one place.
Yeah, for sure.
And did we say the site?
No. So tell everybody where they can find you, what your website is, your social media, all that kind of stuff.
So I have a website. It's Tricia's reclaimedsigns.com. And then we have Facebook, and it's at TR Signs. We have an Instagram at t.r.signs. And then we have TikTok. And it's under Tricia's Reclaimed Signs or TR Signs.
One of those. We'll put the link in the show notes for everyone. So they can easily click on it.
Yeah. Well, we've reached the end of the free version. General admission is done. So if you guys want more on this conversation and other conversations, you got to join us on Patreon as low as $6 a month.
Yes.
And you also can sign up for a free trial.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool new feature.
You can sign up for a free trial. What is it, a week?
Yeah, you get 7 days for free.
Yeah, 7-day access.
So like if there's someone's episode you really want to listen to, it's a good one to listen to it and not have to wait the approximately 2 weeks, 10 days.
Right.
Yeah.
So so if you're on the fence, you don't know, sign up for a free trial, see what it's like over on the paid version. So for you guys, for the free version, our general mission, life update's coming up next. And life update.
Yes.
Yep.
What are we talking about?
We just struggled with that because we don't really have much. I mean, we're just
we're just
trying
honestly
to figure it all out here. What we do, things are they just be doing what they do, and it's not good stuff. So
no,
we're just trying to figure out what to do to change things around. We're going to Puerto Rico.
We are. Yeah.
Going to Puerto Rico, nice.
Visit your brother.
Yep. Surprisingly enough, some work for me.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool. It was like, oh, bring your gear.
Yeah.
Have you do some stuff on the property.
Get some video of their property for their nonprofit. So I was like, okay, I can bring the drone and bring some stuff.
Now it's a work
Travel
trip.
light. So now it's kind of a work trip.
It's a write-off for the write-off.
For the write-off people. Yeah, good, because we need some write-offs because
we do.
The budget don't be budgeting.
No, I need to.
There's a lot of girl mathing going on that I just don't understand. So
whatever.
As long as it works.
There's some guy mathing too.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm just looking at the like disaster that's been staring at me for weeks, and Yeah, I might even try and tackle some of this since I got this out of, this where I have to. I was like, oh, I should do some before. And I'm like, I can't get sweaty before the podcast. So now I can get sweaty.
Yes, you can.
But I've shipped my packages for the day. Posted about our new sponsor. Oh, this is where I should have said it. We'll make sure to remind me to say it next week. You're like, say what?
Yeah, I'm waiting
Robin is the sponsor of the month. So
Robin
Parker Marsh from Welcome Home Custom. If you don't know her, I feel like you're living under a rock. But she is our new patron sponsor of the month. So what that means is she is giving a $15 gift card to everyone who signs up for Patreon, either new or upgraded. So if you were at the $6 level and you upgrade to the $10 level, that counts. And then 4 existing patrons will be drawn weekly for $100 gift card to Welcome Home Customs. Weekly? So weekly, she's giving away 4 of them.
Wow.
Right? She was super generous.
Yeah.
This is an awesome time to join.
We should have done that during the show. I might add that in the show.
Right? Just sneak it back in and then come back. But yeah, so now's a good time to join. And like we mentioned and kind of teased in the beginning, you can do a 1-week free trial now. So that's a great way to see
trial
what it's all about. True. You have to be paid by the time to be eligible for that stuff. But so we're just pushing through, trying to better ourselves, posting all the places and doing all the things and, doing shit that we should have been doing, but really need to do now.
Yeah, now we really need to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's all that's going on here. I think that's it.
That's it. So that'll do it. It's been another great episode of the Rally Black Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done. The Rally Black Project. Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Wait, hold on. Nino, I'm recording.